Welcome to
Another Round Podcast,
a safe space for healing, laughter, and love.
We are here to uplift, motivate, and inspire all of our listeners by sharing so many of our life experiences as mothers, wives, and best friends.
So let's cheers to another round of blessings, perseverance, opportunities,
and greatness. We are back with another episode of Another Round Podcast. And I just want to thank everyone out there who has tuned in to our episodes, for your encouraging words, for uplifting us. You don't understand how that keeps us going. I know it keeps me going. And I just feel like words of affirmation is so important. And just giving, positive feedback, even the constructive criticism. We take it all. We love everyone that reached out to us. So thank you again for tuning in. And this is another episode. I'm Janique.
And I'm Jessica.
And welcome back, everybody. I hope everybody out there is living life. I hope you're doing good. I hope your day is going great. I feel like when you wake up in the morning, one thing I will say is your mind, we don't understand how powerful our mind is. And I feel like when you wake up in the morning, just remember it's a new day. You got another opportunity. That's why this podcast is another round, because you have another round of blessings, opportunities. And just remember that. So no matter how your day went the day before, when you wake up the next day, it's a new day and you can change that. And when you wake up with positivity, chances are you're going to have positive results. I feel like when people think negatively about life or just negative in general, you get negative results. You're going to get nothing but negativity that pour into your life. But when you wake up with a smile on your face and you're happy and you're positive and you knock out all those negative people in your life, I'm telling you, it makes a world of difference. Even when I wake up in the morning and I go to the gym, because I wake up 4:20 in the morning to get to the gym at 5. When I leave the gym, I feel like I could conquer the world. Like, it's just a lot of productivity. Am I saying that right? Productivity. Look at Jessica. But I feel good. So I just feel like how you wake up in the morning is, chances are that's how your day is going to go. So hopefully you guys are having a great day. And I'm Janique. Did I say that?
Yes, we did.
Oh. Your ass done went on a whole tangent and then your ass. I need to put the mimosas down. Okay, right. Jessica, but how you feeling?
I am good. I took a week off work, so I was able to kind of like process and, process this, transitioning into this new job. I had my last day at my second job, so yeah, this week was really just a relaxing week. Tomorrow's my sister's birthday, so I'm going to get to spend some time with my sister and my family tomorrow. We started this new tradition where we do Sunday dinners.
I love
gives
that.
us an opportunity to get together more. And in that, we have decided to meet once a month and have Sunday dinners, and we switch off, each other's houses. So it started in January, and it started off at my sister's house. Last month, it was at my house. And then this month, it was perfect because my sister's birthday is in March. So we will be celebrating her tomorrow. And then next month, it'll be at my house, and it's my birthday month. So
I know. What you got plans? Oh, we have plans for your birthday.
I have plans. I'm having a birthday party.
I told Jessica she had to turn up for her 40th birthday.
Listen, I could not resist not having a party. I would have been so upset with myself if I didn't. So I just gave in, and I was like, you know what? I found a venue that was pretty reasonable in price, and yeah, I need to get the ball rolling though, because it's literally around the corner.
I told her that. I told her that last year when I was planning my party, and I was like, you know what? I don't think I want to do anything. She's like, you have to do something for your 40th. I do feel like that's a milestone birthday. Like when you make it to 40 years old, like you got to do something. And I'm happy I did. It was small at a winery, but I'm happy I did something, and I was able to invite the people I love, and we were able to celebrate. Just celebrate life. So I feel like that's important.
I actually loved your birthday. It was like really chill and laid back. But when I tell y'all, Janique was Janiquing at her winery. It was just like perfect. They had music playing. It was like everybody was sitting around eating, drinking wine. But every time you look up, Janique was in the middle of a Soul Train line. She was in the middle of the dance floor. She was being who she was. And I was like, this is just perfect for her. The fact that we were sitting over here stressing about what and when I tell
changed my mind.
This girl will change her mind 1,000,000 times. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to have a party and it's going to be at the house and I'm going to do, then, oh, you know what? Then I'm going to do it at El Torito's and then,
I know.
You know what? She done changed her mind so many times.
I even called my party planner. She stopped answering my call.
I was like, you know, I'm tired. And every time she would call, I'd be like, okay, what we doing this week, Janique? What we doing for your birthday this week? But when she just was like, you know what? I just decided I'm just going to go do it at a winery. And it was perfect for you.
It was perfect. It was hot as hell.
It
was a nice day, but it was
Girl,
hot.
She had her hair. That hair was flat
I don't even know why I had my hair flat iron.
That goddamn afro.
Hey, you know what? I'm loving it. You know, I love my natural look.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, it did turn into a fro that day.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I feel like that's a milestone. So I'm happy Jessica's doing something for her birthday. And, you know, she's on a journey right now. She starts her new job soon.
Monday.
Yes.
2 days, girl.
She's been turning up. I've been seeing your posts. I'm like, Jessica been out and about. I love it.
Just yesterday. That was my only time going out. That's what's so crazy is that this whole week I was like, dang, I really didn't do anything. But I kind of just chilled. But yesterday I did go happy hour with my friend.
I know, because she came over here with a hangover. She was like, I'm so tired. I got a hangover.
I got a hangover. My stomach hurt. It's a lot going on right now. But I'm here and I made it.
Yes, thank you.
Even to the point where I was like, I was so tired this morning and I really was like, I need to go back to sleep. But in my head, I was like, no, you need to get up because you have to beat traffic. And guess what? I sat in traffic the whole time coming over here. So
she did. And I'm happy you here. And, you know, I just live life through Jessica because she be out and about. And I don't know. I just have been. No, Jessica she be having. I'll be like, Jessica's out again. It's Saturday. And but me, I don't know. Lately, I just been wanting to be in the house.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just been. And it's not that I'm going through anything, but I just don't want to be bothered. I just be in the house. So I'm like, let me just go on Jessica page and just live life through her and her turn up.
Like I go out I do not even go out like that, literally.
But I love it. No, because I'm telling you, I've been in the house watching like old series. Like I did not realize how funny my wife and kids are.
Oh, I watch that show. I watch it every night. Every night I watch it. It's the funniest.
I miss shows like that. Yeah. Like, I mean, you get a little bit here and there, but those like the Martin, like I could watch Martin 1,000,000 times and laugh my ass off every time I watch it. I could watch the same episode 1,000,000 times and still laugh. Like I miss shows like that. You don't hear. You know, you got Upshaws. I love the Upshaws. I love Miss Pat. Have you watched Miss Pat?
I've never watched that. I mean, I watched it when she used to be on like regular TV, and then she moved to like BET Plus.
Yeah, it's a lot. But I will say, it may not be for everybody because she does a lot of cussing, and she's one of those comedians that just don't give a damn. Like she's gonna say how she feels. I miss that because a lot of comedians feel like they got to walk on eggshells because everybody is just kind of like everybody's sensitive about a lot of topics. So I love that. I miss that, but I just didn't want to be in a house.
Yeah, I don't blame you. And I watch My Wife and Kids, Everybody Hates Chris, and Martin. Those are my three shows. I have to go to sleep to those 3 shows every night. So yes, those are.
I miss that. Yeah. It just feel good shows. I love Act Your Age. I'm Netflix. Bring back Act Your Age. I love that show with what's her Tisha Campbell. Is it Tisha Campbell? Tisha Campbell. I don't know any sitcom that she's been on where it wasn't good. She's just an amazing actress. I love it. But so what else has been going on? What you got going on? How's life treating you?
Life is good. Life is a blessing. I have no complaints. I was able to get I think we talked about my son getting into tutoring. So I finally found a good tutor for him. So he started tutoring on Monday. So that's good. Yeah, everybody's good. My other son, shout out to him. He's at Fresno State. He just had a job interview.
Like how's he enjoying
it? You know what, with him, his main thing is like he wants to find a job. So he's been trying to find a job. And he had an interview with Chuck E. Cheese. So he's hoping and praying that he gets that job. But then he texted me and was like,
you said,
hey,
where is it?
Chuck E. Cheese.
They have a Chuck E. Cheese out there? Is there still Chuck E. Cheeses around?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
We should have had, look.
Yeah, there's one. Yes. Chuck E. Cheese ain't going. Now, that ain't going nowhere.
It better not go nowhere. I miss Toys R Us. I'm like, they need to bring Toys R Us back. Like,
No,
I
for
remember
real.
going into Toys R Us.
Exactly. No, but he
used to love
called
that.
and he texted me after and was like, if I get this job, can I get my own bank account? So I was like, because I all my kids, when they get a job, I open bank accounts for them. So, and I open them through my credit union because I have a credit union. So he's trying to be an adult, and it kind of made me sad because I'm like, oh, he wants to like disconnect. He wants to be his own man. And
Yes.
I understand. It just made me sad because I'm like, oh, he's probably not going to depend on me
Yeah,
anymore.
he's not that little baby anymore,
Right.
that little kid that depends on you. We miss
Right.
that as parents. I feel like that
know.
isn't, I miss that. Because right now, Levi's having his 8th birthday party.
Yes.
I'm excited about that. I really didn't want to party.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Every year I tell myself, in fact, when they were 1, I said, this is going to be the last party. I wanted the milestone parties.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, 1, that's okay. We'll do 1-year-old, 5, 10, 16, 18. Those milestones. We've been having a party every damn year.
I know. You sure do.
And every time it starts off as, we're going to do something small, probably invite like 10 of his friends or whatever. And the next thing you know, we got 50 people coming. My husband got this long list of people. He was the main one saying he not inviting nobody. Now he done invited 50 people. So now we planning this big party. And then he get mad because I'm calling up Charmaine with the Jello shots. He was like, "Why you want Jello shots at a kid party?"
That is true. I'm with
wait.
my cousin on that.
I'm not.
Why?
No. Because you plan the party, you spend a lot of money on the party, you got to clean up after everybody. You deserve a Jello shot. You deserve a drink. Okay,
Lord
gotta
have
have fun
mercy.
too at these parties. Okay, but we're having it at a little indoor jumper arcade location. So I love that. So I don't have to clean up after nobody. But it's just crazy how fast they grow and how that time goes by so fast. So I like to cherish each moment. So you ready to get into these questions?
Get into it, girl.
Hey. So let's get into the question of the week. We like to write questions or ask our friends and family questions to say it on the show. I feel like our best conversations come off the top of our heads. So let's see what the question of the week is. How have you processed grief after losing a loved one? That's
Okay.
deep.
Yeah.
That's deep.
That's a good question. Grief, we all know grief is a process. You never truly don't stop grieving when you lose someone that you love. Right. I think with me personally, losing just a lot. I've lost a lot of people at a younger age in life. So, I was 14 when I lost my dad. Then I was 19 when I lost my sister. My sister when I was 19, and then losing both my grandparents, who I was very, very close to. I don't think you ever truly stop grieving. I just believe that you start to learn how to navigate life without that person.
Without that person. Right.
So it's more so in the sense of like making sure it's kind of hard to explain because it's been such a long time, but my husband's aunt, who was the one that kind of like hooked us up, she passed away, and that was really tough for me, and it's still tough for me. And so I just believe that you never truly stop grieving, but you do learn how to navigate your life without that person. And so you just kind of have to, go, because there's always times where I'm like, oh my God, I wish my sister was here to see where I am now, or see the things that I wasn't when she was here. And so or like getting married, those big moments in your life.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? You want that person there. And now you have to go through life knowing that they're not going to be able to see your first child, see your, and I was blessed to be able to have my sister here when I had my daughter. So she was able to be in her life until she was about 3. So she was able to see that. And then my dad, I know he would have loved to he would have been an amazing grandfather.
They're smiling down on you.
Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate that.
They see all of that. That's kind of how I look at, I don't know, grief for me is, I will say it's hard to process it, and I don't like to think about it. I don't want to say I block it out, but I try to focus on when they were here, what I cherish the most. And I always, because oftentimes I'll talk about someone that had passed, like they're still here. Like I'll talk about Jamel, or I'll talk about grandma, like how we talk about grandma and grandpa. Like I was just thinking about scary movies the other day, and I'm like, grandma, and I'm just thinking about how that her closet had all VHSs of all the scary movies, and she would have us at her house watching these scary movies and had us stay the night because she was so scared after watching.
Scared the heck out of herself.
But then at times, like I really sit back and it just soaks in. And sometimes I find myself crying at night thinking about the people that I've lost, because I don't process it at that moment because it's hard to process. But then when you like sit back and you realize like this person is not coming back.
Yeah.
It is a tough pill to swallow, but I do just try to cherish each moment that I've had with that person. And that's why I always say with life, I just want to create memories because at the end of the day, death is going to come. Like we don't know when it's going to come.
And
it's crazy because you can be living your best life and the next day you find out, you only got this much time to live. Like I have, like my uncle, like right now is fighting for his life. My cousin who out of nowhere, like when I tell you this man, he was like our handyman. Like we'll call him over, extremely built, like he'll come over and fix whatever we need. And then all of a sudden it was just like he got sick. And then I went to go see him in the hospital and I'm like, this is not the same person. Like, it's just crazy how life works. And that's why I say I try to cherish each moment and cherish the people around me. And then as far as processing grief, like I said, I always try to think of all the good memories. Thank God, haven't had too many deaths. But there are family members and people in my life that are fighting for their life right now. And it's tough seeing that. I feel like that's the hardest part for me.
And anticipated death is what you're saying?
Yes.
Anticipated?
Even with our grandpa, that was so hard for me because I was so used to seeing grandpa out and about. When I tell you guys, our grandpa was at every event. Every event we had, he was there, front row. Either it was a basketball game, a softball game, and his dashiki, and his bucket.
Everybody knew. Everybody knew he was coming. They knew. Mr. Lakey, look
at dashiki over there, okay? He was at every event. Even my cheer, he'll come pick me up from cheer practice, and I ain't gonna lie, I had him pick us up from the back because I didn't want everybody... I didn't want everybody to see me in that bucket, and I remember he ran over Tamisha's foot because we was trying to hurry up and get in this car and duck our head, and she didn't have her damn door closed, and he driving. I'm like, Grandpa, drive, because I didn't want nobody to see us, and then he ran over Tamisha's foot trying to get.
It's funny that you talk. Sorry, but it's funny that you talk about the bucket he's always had, but her dad, my uncle Donald, gave our grandfather his little red Corvette. It wasn't like a Corvette.
It was a Porsche.
A Porsche, I'm sorry. Yes. It was a red Porsche. And one day,
I think it was at my house, right?
It was at our house. And I was there, and he pulled up in that Porsche, and I didn't know he had that Porsche. I said, ooh, who is that? Okay, Porsche. Grandpa come out with the dashiki, he had a dashiki off, he looked like a king from Africa.
He was a king of Africa for real. When he stepped out of that damn Porsche, you couldn't tell him nothing in his dashiki.
You couldn't tell him nothing. And he was floating down that street. He thought the rose petals was getting thrown behind him. That's how he walked up to that whatever function we had, and I just was like, you know what? But you're absolutely right, Grandpa. When I say our grandpa used to be there, it was harder for him to be there for us. I would say. I think that I do get kind of like, I always think about that. I'm like, you know what? He was there for you guys a lot, but it's because you guys have more. Yes, you guys have more access. You guys exactly, and we were always in the IE, so it's like every time we had something, it was more so like. We didn't have a lot of family members come out to the IE because in everybody's eyes, the IE is so far away from LA. I mean, now that we're
older,
older, oh God,
because she'll drive down this way.
Yes.
I drove all the way down
And
here
my
from
dad
San
used to-
Bernardino, so
yes.
you know how far that drive is.
And my dad used to do it all the time. Like every time he'll pack us up in our car and he'll drive us out to Linwood. He'll drive us out to Carson. He'll drive us out to Hawthorne.
Yeah.
Like this was his area. Like he was from out here. But so that's one thing that I noticed with Grandpa, with you guys, is he was there.
And what hurt me the most is when he was no longer able to be there. And then we went to go see him in the hospital. And he was just like, kind of like, he couldn't move around. Like he wasn't the same.
So skinny.
He was so skinny. And I remember he went to my graduation. Let me tell y'all, this is around the time right before he passed. Like he had got really sick. And I didn't expect him to make it to my graduation. And he was up. When I looked up, he was in the audience. And just seeing him, that's what I feel like, that's where my grief starts, is when you go from, being around a person that he's there, like the strong person that you look up to, and then you see him in the hospital and they're helpless. And there's nothing you can do. Like that was hard for me. Because I was so used to my grandpa being everywhere. And it got to the point where he couldn't. Because
when we came, I think the last time I saw him I came down with my best friend. I had my best friend with me, my best friend Mika. She came down we just came down to see him. I knew he was sick, and he was at the house. And we got stories. You know what? Mika done seen some stuff. I'm like, we go to the house. This man, dang near naked in his drawers, walking around with his booty cheek out, and I'm like, Grandpa, like, and he didn't give a care in the world. He was ordering me to do stuff. Go get that and go get this. But I just remember seeing him the same way. Like I seen him like very, very fragile, and skinny, and it was really tough because when. It's crazy because we have so many memories with my grandfather. Like one thing I can honestly say about my grandfather is my grandfather didn't talk like my grandma. My grandma had a big mouth. You tell her one thing, she gonna tell the whole entire family. But my grandpa was the person I felt like I could always say something to, and I wouldn't feel like he would say anything. So we lost him first, and so losing him was really hard because we lost my dad in 1999, and then we lost my grandfather in 2003. So it was just like back to back to back.
Right.
And then after that, we lost my sister,
Jamil,
which was in 2004.
And that was like a sudden.
Yes. And my grandmother was sudden.
Right.
I mean, our grandmother was
what's
sudden.
crazy, because I want to kind of get into Jamil and grandma. Like, with Jamil, that took a toll on me because I felt like I could have did. You know how you feel like I could have said something. I could have did something. I should have, because I saw certain things and I'm like, I should have pushed it a little more, like I should have told her to go to, to the doctor or whatever the case may be. And I did find myself blaming myself a lot. And I had to get to the point where I had to tell myself, at the end of the day, when God calls you home, there's nothing you can do. You can sit there and say, I could have, should have, could have, would have, I should have had this, you shouldn't have went, or I shouldn't have told you to leave, or you should. But when it's your time to go, that's your time. And that's when God calls you home, and there's nothing you can do about that. Because I was so down on myself about that. And then with grandma, when she passed, what was crazy is that sometimes I feel like my grandma knew something, but she didn't want to say anything. Because you remember that Christmas, she got us all the Macy gift cards.
First of all, that you ain't lying, because when I tell you our grandma used to get her gifts used to be the cheapest gifts. But the year before she passed, you're so right. She got us all
Macy, like a $100 gift card. I said, Grandma, is this? Wait a minute.
She was looking. You should see how she was looking around that corner. Every time she got us gifts, she was always looking around the corner for us to. First of all, she couldn't spell people's names.
Oh yeah.
So she always had to stand nearby.
I was always Jenke. I said, Grandma, I've been your granddaughter for 18 plus years, and you still don't know how to spell my name.
Listen, she would always be at that corner because she knew that she would have to run back over there to go say what name it was on that card, because the person, whoever's telling the name, is like, and she go over there, Janae, just give it to Janae. It's Janae. So she was at that corner, but the smile on her face when she saw that we got them expensive gifts, because I don't think she knew. we like, oh, grandma about to get us our gifts. Here we go.
I
About to get some
girl,
cheap.
'cause I remember one time she got me this shirt. I said, Grandma, I do not wear 3X. I was 10 years old. I said, I don't wear 3X, Grandma. This is an adult shirt. What is? You could tell she got that from the sale rack. I said, I don't know.
What I did love is that she did get us. They was cheap, but she got everybody a gift.
Even if you were new to come into our Christmas event, like she was gonna make sure you had a gift.
She absolutely did.
She made, and it was a lot of us.
Yeah.
So I could understand. And then she would cook. I never understood, like, because my grandma would cook, and I'm like, I'm like, I don't see how she did that. Yeah. Like cooking all those meals, she making sure everybody has a gift. But that Christmas, we had those nice gifts. So I'm like, I didn't put 2 and 2 together. And then she had an event. Remember that event she wanted to do at her church?
Yes.
And she was going to have
She had everybody
come to her
That's
church.
When she passed away.
She was going. So I was practicing the speech. First of all, she wrote the speech for me. I didn't understand nothing on that paper. I said, Janine, just read it like this. Because you know how grandma is. She was like, just read it like this. This is how you. I'm like, Grandma, I don't understand. I don't know your handwriting. Like, I had to go over there and we had to work on this speech. Because she had all her grandkids. She had everybody together.
Yep, she got us all together.
To go to her church to give these speeches. And she wrote this speech for me. And what's crazy is I still have that speech in my, I have this little file, treasure chest. And I still have that speech still to this day. Wow. But she wanted to get everybody together on this day. And I was ready. I was prepared. I was getting dressed. It was a Sunday. And we got the call that she had passed.
And what the crazy part about it is, one thing I can say with my grandmother, when they tell you don't know how you're going to go, I want to go like my grandma. My grandma went to sleep and didn't wake up. She was asleep. This is how she was when she went, because she always used to watch TV.
Peaceful, yes.
She went very peacefully. You could tell. It was just like she closed her eyes and that was it. When we went to see her, she was in this position with her hand on her head, like she was watching TV, and she didn't wake up. And when they say that that's how you want to go, she went peacefully. She looked peaceful. She got her family together. So we were all getting ready for church. So everybody was calling. That's how everybody knew something was going on, because everybody was calling her like, where's Jessie? We got to get up, go to this church thing. She got us all together. So yeah, that's true. That is, I never thought of it that way. Cause
I didn't think about it at that moment, but when it happened, I'm like, my grandma knew something.
She knew something.
She
probably.
knew something.
Now that you say that, that does make a lot of
everybody together. And she did bring everybody together, and that's what our grandparents were about, like just getting the family together. 4th of July, Christmas, and that's why I'm so happy that we keep that tradition, and that's why going back to when I say just creating those memories. That's what I look forward to, because life is life, and you never know when it's your last day on this earth. So when you get to cherish those moments with the people you love, and you can sit back and not have any regrets. That's why I don't like to have disagreements or not talk to somebody that I love for a long period of time, because you never know. You don't want that regret of saying, you know what, if that person passes on, you have so many regrets, oh, we stopped talking, or we weren't talking for X amount of time. You don't want to have those regrets. So, I mean, I get you're going to get into it. You're going to have your disagreements. But when it comes to the people you love, squash it and create those memories. And because you want to sit back and be like how me and you, we talk so much about family, about our grandma, about our grandpa, about everything. And we laugh, and we laugh about it. Like when I think about remember grandma's funeral? We had all the grandkids got up there and talked, and it was Jovan, Greg, and everybody said that was the funniest funeral I've been to. Yeah. That's how I want to be remembered. I don't want, I want you to remember me and laugh. Yeah. And just, you're going to grieve, but I want more laughter. I want you to sit and say, this is what me and Janique did. We did this, we did that. You want to.
But it also goes back to, how do you want to be remembered? Yes. How do you want people to remember your legacy? Because when you go on, it's going to have that staple of who you were as a person. And, I always think about that. I always want to be known as a kind person. I was always trying to be there for everyone. So your morals and integrity, your character means a lot. You don't want people to remember you as a person who steals, who lies, who, just, you
Pushes
know,
people
it's
away.
conniving.
Yes,
like, I don't
it
want
just
to be known
angry,
for that.
Always
so that's
angry,
why,
always
right.
negative. Like,
That's why it's important for you to also be kind, because you want people to remember you in that light of who you were as, like, was I a good mom? Was I a good wife? Was I a good daughter? Like, and it's even with the, you know, not getting into that, but that even with relationship with my mom, I feel like it needs to, sometimes I feel like it could be better because my mom's getting older and I know that we don't have the best relationship, but it's important for me to make sure that she doesn't leave this earth and I'm like, oh, I wish I could have done this. I wish I could have done that. So, I just think how do you want to be remembered?
Yes.
And so, because people are going to grieve you regardless, but you do want to have those funny memories.
Yes.
You do want to have those good stories. You always want to say, remember
you
when.
want your kids to talk to their kids. Like, we talk to our kids about who our grandma and grandpa.
Because they didn't get the chance to meet them.
They didn't get the chance to meet them. So they get to see, you know, where they come from, you know, and who
you're a product of.
Who you are a product of. And it's nothing but positive things. Like, I just love that. Like, we could sit back and just reminisce about our childhood, and there's so much. I mean, me and Jessica got so many stories of our childhood that still to this day, at 40 years old, we talk about it and we laugh about it, and it brings so much life into your life. You know what I'm saying? Even when I could be having a bad day and I could just think of something in our childhood that just has me just cracking up laughing, or I'll call Jessica and I'm like, girl, you remember when, and we laugh about it like it was yesterday, even though it was 20 years ago. You know, you want that. And so when it comes to grief, I think it's important to just also keep in mind of those good memories. You know, you're going to grieve, but at the same time, like, I like to just think about the good too. Like, I sit back and I reminisce about the good times I had with my grandpa, the good times I had with Jamel and grandma, and even Jamel. Like, I got so many stories. Oh my God.
Oh my gosh. But you know what's so crazy about that too is, like, even us talking about it, I'm getting like, I get emotional inside, especially when I talk about my sister. Like, I really get emotional because she left too early.
Such a young age.
She was only 23 years old. So it's just like, when I talk about her, I do get emotional because I'm like, dang, it wasn't her time to go. I will, you know, they say it's your time to go. Like, and I get that things, but I don't think it was her time. I don't think it was her time. I just, it's so many things that I think back about with her. And I'm glad that we're talking about her in the podcast, because one of the things I've always wanted to do is keep, like, her legacy alive people. So I talk about her and I tell people her story and, like, the way that she passed away and things like that. I think it's important to tell that because, you know, being that she was a Black woman and didn't get the proper care of, like, being pregnant, because my sister was pregnant when she passed away. But, like, ignoring the signs of, like, something so small could have been handled and she could still be here. So, like, that's part of my grieving process. It's a part of something that I have to live with every single day, to just go back and say, like, so you mean to tell me that you have one job to just do this one simple thing and she would be with us today? Like, you mean to tell me that you, being a healthcare provider, you did not take whatever she was going through? You did not, and it was her first child, so she didn't think it was anything. She's like, oh, it's, you know, because my sister passed away from walking pneumonia, so it's like, oh, she's just thinking it's just a cold and it's not a big deal. But internally, she, you know, you would think that a person that is
pregnant,
sick and pregnant, like, you would take that serious. Even if it's a person today, if they have COVID, I was watching the Kardashians the other day, and because my nail person, y'all, because y'all know I don't like I don't like the show, the Kardashians, but it was, but even with her being pregnant and having a high risk pregnancy and her having COVID was just, like, such a big deal.
Right.
But it's like us, some Black women and people of color,
and some people aren't as fortunate or don't have access
to the things that they have. And this
healthcare industry is so messed up.
Yeah, it is.
It's so messed up. Even from then, what happened to Jamel, and even now. Yeah. Especially when it comes to Black women and Black pregnancies. And it's like they brush us to the side. Like, you know, like, we don't get the proper care. Let's just be honest. Like,
and that's just one thing that I constantly have to live with. So as far as the grieving process, that's the stuff that just doesn't get easier. You think of, like, one thing, like, even with my dad had a massive heart attack, completely fine. next morning he's gone in the blink of an eye, no signs, no nothing. And so that's something you kind of got to process and go through. It's just like, oh, like I lost my Superman. So grieving to me never gets easy, because even me being 40 and not having my dad for 25 years, 26 years or whatever that is, not having him, it's still hard. Yes. And not having my sister, it's still hard. It just is something that just never leaves you, you know,
especially when you go through those milestones and you think back of, you know, if my dad were here, if my sister were here, but like I always say, they're looking down on you and they're proud of you. It is different because they're not here. So it's a different feeling.
Yeah.
But I completely understand everything.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's hard. And oftentimes you blame yourself. Like, you know, especially when you feel like it could have been prevented. Like this could have been prevented. And you start to point the finger sometimes at yourself or other people. And it's hard because even with my cousin who passed he was shot in the head walking his girlfriend just in the middle of the street. And I think back of, I used to be so mean to him as a kid, and I'm like, I wish I was a little nicer. You know, I remember my mom wanted to take him in because he had, you know, a tough upbringing. And I'm like, it'd be too much, and da-da-da-da. And then maybe like a year later, he passes away. And at times I say, what if I would have encouraged my mom to let him stay with us? Maybe that would have been prevented. What happened to him? So oftentimes we do blame ourselves, but again, at the same time, I also feel like there's nothing you can really do.
Yeah.
You know, you can't be too hard on yourself.
Yeah.
Anything else?
No, I just, I think that was a great question. Anyone that's out there going through the grieving process, anyone who is struggling with the process of grief, coming from someone who has gone through it at a very young age, just know, like, just continue to pray and just understand that your loved one will forever be with you. Yes. And I know that sounds cliche, but it's important to understand that they may not be there physically, but they are definitely with you. And it, you know, just know that life is going to continue to continue to go on without this person. And I think that's the hardest part that we have to understand when we lose someone, is like, life is going to keep going. The life doesn't stop because that person's no longer here, and you want it to. You want life to stop. You know, I'm like, dang, what could I have done more for my sister now that she's not here? I question certain things, but just know, like, life is going to continue to happen, and you just have to adjust and navigate life without that person being there. So whoever is struggling today with grief or is currently grieving, you know, thoughts and prayers are with you, and hopefully
you get through it, and don't ever allow anyone to tell you how you should grieve. Everyone grieves so differently.
That's absolutely true. Because that's good that you say that, and I'm not going off, but even after our grandmother passed away, the way that I felt like my uncle was like handling it, I had to understand. I was like, why is he handling it like this? Like, what's going on? But I had to understand that he was going through his own grief.
Right.
And that is how he dealt with it. And he had it the worst because he lived with my grandmother and he found my grandmother. So it's just like you see online, people feel like, oh, a person that lost their mate shouldn't move on. That is not your place to say. Right. You can't tell someone how they are supposed to grieve. There is no handbook of telling people how they're supposed to grieve.
Yes, I agree with that. And with that being said, we're going to wrap it up. And we want to thank all of you guys for tuning in, and continue to tune in every Tuesday. And just remember, we love the love. We love the comments. We love just all of your
reposts, everyone that's reposting us, everyone that is listening to us, reached out to us, giving us the criticism and constructive, because I call that constructive criticism. It's only going to make us better. So thank you so much to all that have supported us. Like, it's just a listen, a follow, all of that. So just doing that alone it doesn't take much to do that. So we appreciate you for going out of your day to do that for us.
So thank you guys. We love you, and we are out. Until next time. Thank you for tuning in to Another Round Podcast. Make sure you tune in every Tuesday for new episodes.